It's your fan, Sam McCune, along with Tom Shatel for Tom Shatel's Press Pass. Today, on a Monday, beautiful day outside. Tom, you're the one who predicted that Nebraska was going to win 2 games in a row. You did it before everybody else, except no substitutes, except this guy who said they were going to win 2 in a row last week. Well, they beat Northwestern 56-7. And now, they seem like a team that's primed to do something against Michigan. It's number 9 in the country.
Well, first of all, it's Team Navy Day again.
That's right.
We did not plan this, I promise. We need Tom Osborne shirts. Those seem to be hot right now. I'm really I'm impressed. The last time they did the Osborne gear or the Osborne clothing line was 1997. I have a hat somewhere in my office, and so maybe that's a good sign. But 97 was a very good year. Nebraska, Michigan. Here we are again. I think I'm going to go 2 for 2, Sam, because something happened here Saturday night, and the team played great, but the atmosphere, that's all I heard about on Sunday from people. They were happy about the game, but the first thing they said was, "Did you see those lights? That was incredible. I've never experienced that before in that stadium." And so it was amazing to watch the two come together. Now, of course, the lights didn't happen until the beginning of the fourth quarter. By then, the game was out of reach. But there was something going on here Saturday night, and that's kind of what I was thinking last week. Was I didn't know they were going to play like that, and I had no idea about lights. Nobody tells me about what's going to happen with the atmosphere before the game. My feeling was 2 night games in a row. You think you win this one and somehow package the experience or the feeling, the memory, and then come back and do it again. Everybody has a good time. But boy, I did not expect that to happen. So I feel a lot better about that pick this week.
Do you have a favorite home game that you've seen here historically, a game that you're just like, this is the one that I loved watching the most?
Everybody always says 92 Colorado. That was probably the wildest home game ever. But so it might be that one. I enjoyed the 97 Oklahoma game, blowout game.
Yeah, it was.
But I watched the game. It was Tom Osborne winning number 250, and I spent the game in his booth talking with his wife Nancy. I interviewed her, watched the game with her, and wrote a column about what it was like for her to be the wife and the mother while he was away coaching. And I always kind of remember that game, but there's so many home games. I mean, Eric Cross is still running down the sideline here.
That was special.
I would say my first one, people get mad, 1978 Missouri game. I'm not supposed to talk about that, but I do, because that's where I fell in love with the sport of college football that day, just being here in this place. So this place it will always mean a lot to me. So.
Michigan's helmet in the stadium is a cool moment. That hasn't happened very often.
Right.
And so it's always kind of a special experience when that happens. And this is a really good Michigan team. I'm not saying that they're world beaters. In fact, I think Nebraska's got a better than 50% chance of winning this game. But they are a legitimate team. They're not coming in here limping. They play very good football. They're not that explosive, but they're very sound. They don't make a lot of mistakes. It seems kind of like a Bo Schembechler football team that's now coached by Jim Harbaugh.
Well, that was the idea when they hired Harbaugh, sort of like hiring Scott to come back and bring back a little bit of Tom.
That's right.
Harbaugh was going to bring back some of that Bo, the in-your-face, very upfront physical. For a while, he couldn't get an offensive line or a quarterback for the first few years, and you wonder, well, he had that at Stanford, right?
Right.
And of course, the 49ers, he had Colin Kaepernick, so he's had great. At Stanford, he had luck, but so he's made a living off of great quarterbacks, which is what coaches do on their way up the ladder. But he hasn't had that in Michigan, so you get the feeling he's finally got that formula. And I feel that way a little bit about Scott after Saturday night. He's getting the formula. It's not there yet, but his formula is that the quarterback is making plays. He didn't have to be a great, highlight machine, but get the ball where it needs to be And I think he's been better than I think could have hoped.
Yeah, no question.
And he's still getting better. So it's very exciting to watch Adrian Martinez right now.
Yeah.
But those helmets are why I picked this game. I circled it back in August and said, this is the one. You know, some people will say, well, you know, Scott's this or that, he's on a hot seat, but this was the credibility game. You beat Michigan in the Big Ten, it changes the image of the program. And I feel like this is one that if they're playing well, they can get this one at home. The atmosphere will be crazy. And I had no idea. But yeah, this is, and I think they have to embrace that. I've seen Nebraska make other programs too many times over the years. K-State 98. Oklahoma 2000, where they beat Nebraska, and boy, we've arrived. We're here, and they just take off. And now it's Nebraska's turn. I might be writing about this later in the week. It's Nebraska's turn to do that with somebody else, and I believe that could happen Saturday. It will.
If Tom Stradamus here is right, Nebraska's going to win Saturday. And it's a whole different season then. It's a whole different story if that happens. If it doesn't happen, kind of the same old story. If it does happen, this is a whole different team and a whole different era because Nebraska has not had a game this big in a long time. All right, for Tom Shatel, I'm Sam McEwen. This is Tom Shatel's Press Pass. Stick with us this week. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff previewing Nebraska, Michigan.